You know what's crazy? They made 3 Pac-Man World games, and I bet you don't remember any of them. That's because the Pac-Man World series is the kind you find still shrink-wrapped in the clearance bin next to copies of Shrek Super Slam and Sneak King. Today I'm going to explain exactly why Pac-Man World 3 earned its permanent residence in the bargain bin, and also why this train wreck might be more interesting than you think. This game's got glitches galore, ancient dead races, and a main villain designed by legendary artist Don Bluth. But why this one? Why not the first, or even second? Is it because this was the best reviewed, the best selling, just subjectively the best of the 3? No, don't be stupid, I made all these numbers up like a toothpaste commercial. It's because I have history with the 3rd game. My grandparents owned a handful of games for when my brother and I went over to visit. This game is nestled in some very cozy memories of mine. So strap in, grab some fruit, because we're diving deep into the Yellow Circle's forgotten adventure. And trust me, by the end of this, you'll wonder why Namco thought this was a good 25th birthday present to the franchise. And if you enjoy the video, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe. The game opened... Oh. This isn't the game. This is the museum. The game makes a big deal of Pac-Man's 25th birthday, so you can read a timeline of the series, watch an interview with Toru Iwatani, the creator of Pac-Man, or just play Pac-Man yourself. Neat, but let's get to this game. For Pac-Man's 25th birthday, his family prepares a cake. There was a Pac-Man cartoon for some ungodly reason, but this is the first time we get to hear Pac-Man speak in-game. Hey, it's me, I'm the fucking Pac-Man. The party is interrupted as Pac-Man is forcibly teleported away by Orson. For those of you not up to date on your Pac-Man lore, Orson was the main antagonist of Pac-Man World 1 for the PlayStation. He needs Pac-Man's help as Erwin, evil villain named Erwin, is stealing ghost energy from the Ghost Zone. Let's explain the story later. The teleporter messed up and drops Pac-Man into a big garbage dump. With hands-on, this game is a 3D action platformer, a very simple one at that. The movement and camera are solid, though you don't float when you jump, it's more of a commitment. Not bad, just unusual. Pac-Man can punch or tap jump midair to perform a butt slam. We get some enemies to test these out. That's a Pac-Man enemy. Don't you remember those chasing you around the maze? Combat isn't hard, so let's talk about pellets. Every level is filled with pellets, fruit, trophies, and playing cards to collect. The fruit and junk unlock art in the museum, so the pellets are just for high score. You have to squeeze a lot of value out of each level to get a good high score. Wait a minute. I don't care about high score! You don't get anything but bragging rights, but it's still so natural to follow a big line of collectibles, you know? In the second level, we see our first temporary power-up, the ribbon pellet. After eating this, Pac-Man leaves behind a trail and creating a loop causes an explosion. Pretty fun, makes me hopeful for future powers. The rest of the level... Did they just bring up a long-dead race called the Ancients? In a Pac-Man game. What is going on? Damn, these enemies got hips. How am I supposed to fight something that walks like that? Later in the level, we encounter areas to wall jump and wall climb. There are some ghost enemies in the way, but we all know how that ends. The final room is very large to accommodate these flying pellet trails that move you around the map. Just grab the right crystals to activate the trails, taste the rainbow, grab the exit key, and we reach Orson, who tells us to go to the Spectral Realm, which I'm going to keep calling the Ghost Zone, to find Inky, Blinky, Pinky, and Clyde. But first we see what our main villain is up to. As a side note for anyone familiar with Throw Mama from the Train, I am aware that his name is Owen, but it sounds like Erwin. Anyways, this villain is really lame. I appreciate him making squeaky toy noises when he moves, that's funny. But the head? No. More on him later. The Spectral Realm has a lot more... What are these called?
Nasty spooks at 3 o'clock, Pac-Man!
No, hold on. It's okay. Orson is a ghost, he's allowed to say that. Aside from that, this level is good, though bland. The platforming is tight and smooth, it has a professional feel, though there is some funny business thanks to Pac-Man's Rev ability. Pac-Man can charge up a roll, which is very similar to a Sonic spin dash, making this the second video in a row where this is applicable. This rev roll is used to activate machines, climb hills, ride these wall paths, but it's fun to use it as a speed boost to chase down enemies and such. We find Pinky, who is being chased by this little gremlin thing, and teleport away to a desert industrial level. We can switch to Pinky at special stations so she can materialize ghost platforms for us. Then the combat expands with new power pellets, a green pellet to buff our butt bounce, and the blue pellet to give us force lightning.
Spill a cup.
Solid level! The combat is best when they dump a bunch of the power-ups into a fight so you can pick your favorite or switch around. The goal here is to destroy this giant ghost energy siphon, which we accomplish by playing Pac-Man, and I have a confession. I suck at Pac-Man. I can't even say I don't have experience. I played Pac-Man all the time as a kid. I had those arcade plug-and-plays, but the only one I was ever good at was pole position. One of the collectibles has you play Pac-Man 2. These are never hard, but I still lost a few times. Next is another Ghost Zone level, now with disappearing platforms, which gets us to Clyde, who we free and use to fight other ghosts. Clyde beats up that little gremlin thing, which allows us to go to this cliffside windmill level. It's pretty, or rather, though nothing else. The puzzles are too small scale to be interesting. Oh, I need a gear. Where could it be? 5 feet away? Ah, splendid. More interesting is the first boss, an encounter with Erwin. There are 3 spots to charge crystals which lower his shield, so you just run around dodging his laser, defeating his robots, or using the new invincibility power-up until he's defeated. For how basic the concept is, the fight is way too long. Even punching Erwin didn't make it worth the effort. Next, we go to some ancient ruins. There's a lot to say here. Is that a floating blue fetus? How did I not notice that on the way in? This is an archaeologist who dropped lore that the ancients did this whole stealing ghost energy thing and it killed them. So now we have a nice clear reason to stop Erwin. This level is where the game begins falling apart, figuratively and very literally. The combat falls apart as they add new enemies that take more damage. That's it. No new tactics to fight them, they just have more health so the fights can take longer, I guess. This makes the simple yet decent combat feel unresponsive on top of enemies bugging out more often. Look at this guy, he can't even reach me. The levels try to get more complex, but the game can't keep up. You have a ledge grab, but it doesn't seem to work unless you're square with the ledge. And the camera? Oh, the poor camera. We destroy another siphon and go back to the industrial zone to put out a fire Erwin caused. We turn on some sprinklers until we reach a timed segment where we disarm a bomb. Next, it's back to the windmill village. Nothing special about this level other than the game falling apart more and more. I better finish this game while I still can. This level ends with Pac-Man piloting Talkman to defeat an entire army of invaders. Talkman is a robot created by Orson, which was the final boss of Pac-Man World 1, so getting to control it would be pretty rad if it didn't... well... Army defeated, we begin our assault on Erwin's fortress, which is a step up in difficulty. I don't mind the challenge, but the game really has no flavor. Platformers fall into 2 categories, precision and expression. A precise platformer is going to be simpler and demand exact inputs. An expressive platformer often uses momentum or physics to allow players to solve problems in multiple ways. Pac-Man is precise. Every platforming challenge is basically scripted. Due to this, there's nothing for the game to do but shrink the window of success if it wants higher difficulty. There's plenty of good precision platformers, but I like expressive ones. I wish Pac-Man's bounce took his fall distance into account. That would have opened up so many possibilities for unique challenges or puzzles. We destroy the last of Erwin's machines, but the ghost zone is still freaking out, so we run through another level there. I really like these disappearing platform sections. That's it. We discover an ancient temple just as Erwin sets up shop. The final level is a beat-em-up elevator leading to the final boss. Erwin reveals that his plan is to fuse the ghost zone with the normal zone and rule over the aftermath. Dumb plan, dumb villain, dumb final boss. It's a carbon copy of the first boss with an added missile attack. We free Thinky and Stinky before blowing up the machine. Erwin makes a run for it, but oh god! Yeah, I'd be running too. Erwin gets sucked into his own machine, and Pac-Man gets teleported home. But not without the 4 ghosts who need a place to crash while Orson repairs the ghost zone. I haven't mentioned it because I preferred ignoring it, but this game thinks it's really funny. Every chance they get, Pac-Man is being sarcastic, throwing out puns and quips, and you just have to stare into his black, vacuous eyes, fully perceive your place in the universe, and ask if you're doing enough with the gifts you've been given. Somewhere in that void, I realize what's going on with this game. They tried turning Pac-Man into Sonic Adventure. The spin dash, the personality, the ancient apocalypse brought about by the short-sighted greed of man. The main villain is a scientist in a floating chair. Even the pellet trails are just a circular spectacle akin to the loops in 3D Sonic games. You gotta remember, Pac-Man is an arcade game. He had no lore, no universe to adapt to 3D. They clearly just installed a generic 3D mascot platformer story, and when it comes to 3D mascot platformers, all roads lead to Sonic.
Far out! The world will never be free of my curse!
Consider Pac-Man's design. This isn't a video game character. This is. You're never supposed to see this in-game. Look how out of place Pac-Man feels in his own game. The story behind this game makes things crystal clear. Pac-Man World 3 is actually the remnants of an open-world game called Pac-Man Adventure. Namco hired Don Bluth of Dragon's Lair fame for concept art and possibly more creative direction, but that game was scrapped and rolled into this smaller level-based game. Even that original concept was probably doomed from the start. Pac-Man has nowhere to go. They clearly wanted to cash in on their big brand, even putting talent and effort into it, but Pac-Man doesn't have a real, cohesive identity that could transfer to a 3D platformer. The segments of this game where you jump around mazes to eat the ghosts are interesting. I wonder if expanding on the original game in this way would have been better. Just actual Pac-Man mazes where you run around collecting all the pellets, but you can jump over gaps, the ghosts get new powers, and AI to be more threatening. For the people who like and love Pac-Man, would that have been a hit? I wonder, because the game we got was not. It felt promising, but ran out of steam too early. Namco has recently released enhanced versions of Pac-Man World 1 and 2. When the third one comes out, just let it go. Give a wave and a bow to the first king of video games. Though it really should have been Qbert. Thanks for making it to the end of the video. If you enjoyed, a like and subscription means a lot, and if you didn't enjoy, well, why the hell not? You better comment and tell me. Anyways, take care.